Howdy folks, Little John, just running through the current brew, corn beer. Anybody who watched the video from yesterday or last night, be aware that I inadvertently deleted some footage from the brew day. I actually thought I deleted it all, but it turns out I had actually uploaded one memory card from one camera and the other camera still had stuff on it. So I've managed to save a whack of the brew day. So I'm just going to go through it. So I just want to fill in the gaps as we go through, so the video all makes sense. So as I said, corn ale. Just a revisit on the original idea, the original beer. Slightly different. Changed the malt bill back to 60-40, 60 malt, 40 on the corn ale. So, but the grain comes in a little bit further. So, first thing I did, we've got the Robo Brew up to about 23.5 litres of water. Stuck in my water additions, which was a couple of grams of gypsum, a little bit of chloride, about 3:1 gypsum to chloride. I wanted to push the sulphate side as a to go more with the on the malty and you know, the sweeter side than trying to push the hops. And just added a little bit of vitamin C, bit of ascorbic acid, just to help make sure there's no chlorine in the water. So weighed up the grain, which was 2.7 kilos, or just under 2.7 kilos of Gladfield American Ale. Crushed that up, and added to the barley was 1.8 kilos of flake corn, which just went directly into the mash on top of the barley. Shout out to Mick Woodford up there at Lazy Days Brewing. He supplied the grain for today's brew, the Gladfield malt and the flat corn. Cheers, Mick. Thank you very much. I'll leave a link in the description below to Lazy Days Brewing. Got a good range of the flaked adjuncts and some specialty malts were a bit hard to get in other places, so it can be worth checking out. gave that a good stir in, make sure there's no dough balls and whatnot, then let that set for 10 minutes, as always, then started the pump. Okay, so mash on this brew was 40 minutes at 64 degrees. Now I think the original batch I did about 62, more like that lower lager temperature. Obviously I'm doing this one as an ale, but I wanted to just bring up, just try and leave a little bit more body in the final beer. I did find the first one, as much as it was very, yeah, everybody liked that first beer and it was, yeah, it was a good beer. I think a little bit more body and just a bit more depth in it is not going to hurt. So yeah, 64 degrees for 40 minutes, and raised to 72 for 20 minutes prior to sparging. Right, just raised temperature to 72 for mash out. It's just got there. Just taking a refrac reading. It's sitting on 1042, which is pretty much, I think, about where we want to be. We're looking for a pre-boil of 1035, so by the time we sparge, I think we should be pretty close. So looking pretty good. So let this run now for we've got about another 18 minutes to go, and we'll sparge up. Righto. Mash is finished. We got through our 20 minutes. We'll get ready to get the sparge on. So come off. Yeah, got my sparge water here. So I've got about 10 litres. I'm looking to bring this up to about the 31, 32 litre mark. The water here is about 78 degrees. I was aiming for about 85, didn't quite get there. Anyway, close enough. We've got 72 to start with, so this should get us to about 75 anyway, which is good enough for, well, pretty much sweet spot for sparge anyway. That's holding nicely too. See, she's holding off nice and a nice slow. You see down there. Nice slow sparge. Which is ideal. Sometimes you just want to run through nice and fast. But I did find when I was initially with the mash, because I've got no rice hulls in here, I've run out of rice hulls. I thought I still had some here, but I still normally grain out yesterday and there was none there. So I didn't want to circulate real good at the start of the mash. Mash level rose up, just started to overflow a little bit. I had to really throttle it back for the first 15-20 minutes before I could speed up a little bit more. Once it sort of got settled in. That's draining nice and slow at the moment, so really happy with that. So I will continue to do this. in. Now I've got the top screens in there, so I'm not too worried about dumping in there a little bit of force. The top screen's going to stop it from stirring the bed up too much. So I'll pop this up to a boil. Alright, we'll get that going, so I'm going to finish this and we'll come back shortly to talk hops. I had to pull the malt pipe out before it had finished actually draining the sparge. You can see it's still not quite down to the top plate, and that's because we are just about to come to a boil, and it was going to make a bloody hell of a mess if I'd left it on there. So I said it was draining slow, and it continues to drain slow, so I'm just pulling that off now into the bucket, and once it's finished I'll let it back into the boil. Righto. I'll hit the hot brake. I'm just going to knock this down, make sure she doesn't boil over. We'll sit in around 27, 28 litres. I can keep this under control. Once this is done, I'll drop what's left from that malt pipe back into here, and when that's finished we'll get our hops in, which we'll sit down and talk about in just a minute, or in just a second in all honesty. Right, we've got through the hot break. I've added what's collected from the malt pipe at the moment, and that's got us up to 30 litres on the markings now. I do know I probably need about 32 litres in there. It's about 2 litres out. It seems to be about 2 litres out from most of my calculations. But I was looking for original pre-boil volume of 29.9 litres, and that's really what I've got at the moment. You possibly hear the sparge malt pipe still draining a little bit. I don't think I'm going to get too much more out of that. Might be another, maybe half a litre if we're lucky. So I may need to top up, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's quickly just check what this gravity is. It's sitting on 1039, and okay, so we're looking for 1035. So that's good, because that means that I can top up to that 32 litres if I need to, and that's going to get me pretty much right where I want to be. So I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah. So she's about to come back to a boil. So hops, again, hops very simple, very traditional for the Mexican style. Galliner, I'm using 16 grams for both the bittering and for a flavour addition. So these are going in, I said, for 60 minutes. These are a little bit older, so I've adjusted the weights a little bit, but I'm looking for about 16, 17 IBU from the bittering addition. And then 5 minutes from the end of the boil I'll drop another 16 grams in, which is going to get me about another 3 IBU. So I'm looking for a total of 20, 21 IBU, somewhere in that sort of ballpark. I think the original corn ale was 17 IBU, so I'm going for just a little bit more, just to, I think the initial bitterness on that first one was just a little bit low. It could have been a little bit higher, so just to crack against the little bit of sweetness that the corn can bring. So that's where I'm aiming there. I think the Pocker was around 21, and it was fairly well disguised because of all the salt. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to get them into the boil. First lot in. I'm going to use hops. I'm going to use some socks. So it's not a lot of hops, but I'm going to use my bag just to keep out as much as I can, so we can keep this nice and clean as much as possible. So that's it. I'm going to pop them in a second. 45 minutes I'll drop in half a Wellflock tablet, and instead 10 minutes after that we'll go to the second hops, and then we'll look at the finish. So we'll come back after she's boiled for a while, and we'll have a look and see how we're travelling. Got a second hop break after that, dish an extra 5 litres, pushing right to the very top. I'll keep control of this for a minute. We went right to the edge on the first first one as well. Just after I turned the camera off, it went. There you go. We've got a bit of a spill. And this is one issue when you do push it to such volume. You need to be on top of this. Water bottle works well. Got to break that surface tension. Beautiful. Once again, science playing its part. Anyway, hot break pretty much done. Hops in. Oh no. Chillers in. Wellflock's been added. Just dropped in this bag, which is the second lot of hops. We've got 5 minutes on the boil, and we'll very shortly be going to chilling. Okay, so post boil, chilled the wort down. Now we lost a lot of footage. There's no footage here of the transfer. So basically chilled. Let it settle, and then transferred directly into the all-rounder, straight onto the yeast cake that was already in there, and she's ready to go. Righto, we're done, transferred over. Put a little bit more than what we're looking for. There's about 26 litres in the fermenter. Probably started around, it's about 2 litres with the yeast that was already in there. So we picked up about 24 litres. I was looking for 22. Could be this. 2 extra litres. It's a mysterious 2 litres that comes and goes from batch to batch. Anyway, all good. Got a sample there, and it's sitting on 1042, which is bang on target gravity. So regardless of any extra volume, still hits we got target, so that's pretty good. Happy with that. So she's nice and clear once she settles. Looks like what we would expect it to look like. Okay, tastes as good, yeah. No excess pop or anything in there, so all is good. Okay, so I'll pop this fella in the fridge at 16 degrees. I was contemplating, pushing it a little bit higher on the temp. They say take advantage of the pressure. Actually, I might do that. I'm going to run to 19. I'm going to run at 18.8 instead of 15.8. Normally I'd run this at 15 degree mark to keep it nice and clean with the US-05, which is already in there. So we'll push it at 19 and see how it goes, see how it compares. After lager-like finish without the lager, about the yeast. Like I said, I've done this one with ale yeast. I've done it with the lager yeast, and I'm hoping that with the pressure, it's not going to make much difference. But anyway, it's done. It'll come out all right. So, as it's in the fridge. We're looking to get this one into a keg in 2 to 3 weeks' time. And we'll have a look at how it's travelling then. So that's it. The Mexicali Ale. Cerveza style corn beer. Got any comments, any questions? As always, stick them down the bottom. Ask away. If you haven't subscribed to Little John's, hit the subscribe button. Come along for the ride. As always, Patreons. Cheers and thank you guys. Support is much appreciated and helps keep the channel going. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon, see what it's about, hit the link down the bottom. But for now, that's me, done. So, till I see you again, next time we're in the brew cave or on the brew ground or wherever we are, but next time, till we're drinking beer, talking beer, brewing beer, good brewing.